In this video we are going to talk about price analysis, volume and aggression, famous delta, directly here on your chart. So this is a tool called WAPV system, and it helps in your decision making. Here on the chart there is nothing, as you can see here. It is a chart of price action, a price action graph. We're just looking at this, and we're going to start putting in place tools that will help and facilitate and improve our decision making regarding damage to Dan, greater confidence. Okay, so we can score points on the chart. We who come from the MOF analysis, we mark points on the chart, resistance points, support points, and the SMC people, right? What PR people from the SMC PR will say that there was a downward shock, upward shock, order block, and here order block, order block. Okay, but for me it is still very subjective. Yeah, it's very subjective. We can't really know what the intention of the plays is, what they're doing. So for that we're now going to put tools on the graph that will help our decision making. So right click indicators. I'm going to start with one of the indicators called signals, which is an indicator based on VSA signals. So here straight away we can already identify this distribution structure, because after it's gone it's easy, but we can have a notion while this was being formed. So as I said before, we had this top, we had this bottom, and the tool, just this tool here, it had already given us a possible exhaustion of the upward movement. Okay, so it had given us a top reversal bar and an uptrush. Okay, then a possible entry into a bar without demand with the trigger below ready. Just this analysis here, right? You could have already done AG in relation to the visual identification of what the market was really doing. You could stay food, but here is such a background. Okay, but you follow the pattern of reading the graph and you can make this identification. Let's continue now. We are going to add a tool that shows us the color, that shows us the color of the bars, ultra bars, volume, positive bars, negative bars, and bars with low volume. So here again, so we start to improve what was already looking good. So again we mark this region, so we have a positive bar because it is green, but ignored with an uptrust sign. We have bars with low volume. So what we have here is an absorption sell bar. Market makes this small movement here but can't continue the movement afterwards. This beating of a blue bar, ultra volume, enters a green bar, correct the volume bar in the long direction, which is then lost. So here was a possible sell signal, and then here with another possible sell signal. Great, but let's improve because it's still bad. So let's go -1 button. Indicators, remembering that all the indicators are highly configurable. Okay, you can change it, as I am only showing it in a more superficial way, but if you want, then put it in the video and I'll show each indicator. I can put the indicator individually and delve deeper into each one. Otherwise it will take a long time. So here we have now our force. Weakness is an indicator that measures volume, is the force Y. It measures volume and it has the region of the force wick itself, the closing force wick from the previous day, which works very well as support. So we had it hitting This region we had ultra volume. With this largo spread bar that was rejected closing above 50% and right here within this region, right? Within this region here, within this region here. You could have a purchase leading to this top because we still didn't know where are we. I didn't know that yet. Here, we didn't know it was going to. So this is the importance of us being able to look and identify these regions. Our force Y, you can be using it as a line. You can use it in the form of an oscillator, and you can use it in the form of a histogram. Oscillator shape is good because you can catch divergence and convergence form of histogram. You are even more focused in the direction of the market. You become more focused on the direction. Oh, it's green, so yeah. Down. In fact, it's red. It's down. It's green. It's up. You have to wait for the market to make this turn. And when it is in the format of oscillator, you can see it from the best way is for us to make 2 clicks. Oscillator format and see if anything changes. OK, and finish. And implementing what I just said. So we have it in an oscillator format. We can see that the market is wanting to reverse, even if only possibly, right? This bottom here, so we have a spring bar. Behold, and the market makes bar on demand, but it doesn't develop. It doesn't fall. OK, and so we are doing a completely visual reading in relation to price volume. There is still no flow indicator here, but I'm going to put it now so you can see. So right button, indicators. Oops, right button, indicators. Now I'm going to put an indicator that helps us in looking at the trend, which is smart. Where's the smart here? Oh, smart here in your corner left. You can also place it in the right corner. Here we have a view in real time how the graphic times are. There are 12 graphic times, right? We see that in the diary it is positive in H4. Positive, but M15, M10, M5 the market, and we have an oscillation in the IDE when everyone is to one side. However, to do day trading, you don't really need that, right? You will be looking more at the graphic times. Main ones, they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and until then, distance from 15. If it is against the trend, or if there is 15 in favor of the trend, it's even better. So now right button, also indicators. Let's take a look here at the W wave, which is an indicator that people really like. So here's our W wave. We can choose the number of ticks. It doesn't repaint. It can have the bar, right? A bar with greater volume in relation to its formation. Plot it on the 0 axis. So here is a wave axis, but it is improved in relation to what we have out there in the market. So here, the yellow bars are the bars where there was the highest volume in this leg. When there is a new bar with greater, here it is. This was the one that had the spring. Where is it, right? The one that had the spring for the bar with the highest volume afterwards. We can see levels, right? Levels, as far as the market went, here. We can see the market turnover high volume bar. So this here is the AG wave. You can mark this point and mark this point. Wait for the market to start working above it. Okay, so this is AG wave. Let's take AG wave out of here. Now remove another tool that people also use a lot. It was added recently. Remembering that some tools we created, some already exist, we added them due to requests from users themselves, and some of them we have improved. One of them is the wave issue that we have improved the existing tool. Here I will now put the anchored one. We put it there at the top here. It already comes by default. HC3 we like to use it at the maximum, right? And you're using it minimally, so you also already have access to this tool here, which is the anchored V. You clicked there. Where do I go here? We put it on low. You can apply it ready, so you have it on high, you have it on low. There are people who like it to only use VAP, so VAP. There are people who like to use volume, so we have the volume profile per region. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's take this background region here. Let's see the volume profile of this region when it calculates. So here you have the one in this region. The market starts to work above the POC, and so you will do your analysis. As I said, the WAPV system, it has price, volume, and delta tools. I haven't yet shown the delta tools, which would be flow in the chart, so let me take indicators here now. Let's put in a flow tool. By the way, let's put in a trend tracker tool that I really like, which is our Jack. Okay, then let's go. Okay, so here is our trend tracker coming back here to an analysis, to a very calm analysis here of the Wyckoff methodology. For those who already know, we had this region formed here, correct? We had that top, we had that bottom, we had a phase C in this region, and Jack is precisely our creek. Okay, he is our Riacho. Then the market loses the creek comes back to test. So here we have one more confirmation comes back to test our LPSY. Okay, so as I said, there could be a sale here, there could be another sale here, another sale here, all based on the what you are seeing. You saw the volume decreasing at this moment, and now we are going to add another indicator, which is an aggression indicator, which is our ADH. Added the add. You have the option of leaving it as a histogram or as a line. So here, line green above means that priority purchase aggression, red line above priority sale aggression. So we have this, look, this whole region here showing sale decreases, the sale entered, sale again, and you can see this in real time. Okay, we can give to click here to put it in histogram format. Same thing. So if you have the add down, the sales aggression has it up. We can see, right, we are more aware that buyers are coming in. You won't sell here. You can't sell here, okay? Volume is coming in. The volume is rotating. And aggression is coming in from the purchase side. Okay, and now we're going to show you another tool that involves everything, right? That involves both price, volume, and delta. I'm going to remove the signals so as not to get in the way, remembering that there are several indicators. All right, you can set up the layout you want here at Ninja Trader. You can leave the signal you want, if it's the bag hold, if it's the top reversal bar, if it's the checkout, if it's the spring, if it's the uptrush. You choose which signal you want to leave at first. We leave them all marked. So we come here now, click remove, right? Let's give it an apply so it's already off the screen, and now we're going to place our OVA swing. Added the OVA swing, all its colors here. They're configurable. You can configure all of them. So there is the distance from the text to bara, there is the font size real time, all of this. Here, you have to show the all trade. Show the volume, show the delta, show the number of points, so let's put it. To show everything, give it n. Okay, and here we have the magic happening on your chart. What do we have here? We have volume, we have the delta traded in real time, and we have the percentage variation at this moment in relation to the opening in relation to the closing of the previous day. Sorry, here we have the amount of points, here we have the delta, and here we have the volume. Okay, and here we have our algot trades here in white, and remembering that this here, you can also change the color. Okay, but whatever color you want, you have all of this. So an example, here the volume is positive, but you are following the delta in real time. Here is your times in trade on your screen, so you have a times in trade on your screen showing what is happening. Let's reduce this information a little bit so we can taking a reading here that is more discretionary and overswing. So I want to remove the number of points. I'm going to take volume and do a more delta reading. That's what we just said, right? What we wanted to do. So let's go. What we had here, show here's what we had here. So here's the information. I just said the market has been rising with positive delta. It kicks in with negative delta. Negative delta goes up, but it goes up. With negative delta, it goes down. It goes up with negative delta. Look here, 1402 delta negative. 1924 all went up with positive delta. F with positive delta, then it makes a negative delta again, and here then the market shows us the information that we want with the underscore underscore. Are you going to buy even though the market is rising? It is falling, rising, it is falling, rising, it is falling, so it doesn't make sense. You're wanting to buy something that's falling, then you're going to say hello Eduardo, but look at the bottom here, we have negative delta, so I have to sell if I have to tell you. If you have to buy or if you have to sell, without a doubt, there is always a desire to sell, but there is a factor in the market that we know as absorption. So no matter how much the market is being sold, it is being absorbed. How do we identify this? Here, absorbed in this region. So it's certain that the market will make this movement. In the market there is no certainty about anything, just that the tools help you in your decision making. Your decisions have a greater probability of being successful. Okay, that's it. Here's how it works. Let's look back here a little bit. Here it is in the early hours of the morning. Right in the early hours of the morning, the market is very slow. A little tick, a little tick. I don't know if much will happen on Friday. This is the time we're looking at. So if you look at the continuity, you can see that the delta is little. Then you will see that it can vary. Okay, 72N in a little while. Okay, men, 100 minus 1000 is when the market is really happening. Okay, and in principle that is it. So then you can use this tool. Let's put another indicator here. You could be using this tool here to improve your operating system that you already have. Sometimes you already have an operating system, SMC, and now you will have tools that will improve your decision making. Now I will also put the volume down there, which some people like, because here what we have in the coloring of The bars we have the volume okay, but I also like being using the volume at the bottom of the chart. Let me just support resistance. You choose the amount of support resistance that will appear on the chart, but it was a salad because it all comes from the back. Okay, I don't like it. Unfortunately, the support resistance indicator is good for us. There is the MetaTrader 5-1, so you can leave it. Only 5 will show the last points of support and resistance. This here is totally focused on relation to support price resistance. So he has been showing the maximum. Right, SMC, I don't know, that sells. In price here was the mark and you were going to sell there within some region here with a target in the background, so visually it does this. So what WV does, it does visually. You have your screen knowing the what's happening. This is what it does. Let's go back here. Indicators, where is our OV? So we put OV and you have the option of leaving it here as a volume indicator, like I said, as a volume indicator or in the form of an oscillator. I like it to leave it in the form of an oscillator. That's why it's OV, right? In oscillator format, because I know that when it works below the zero axis here, it works below the zero axis here. It works below the zero axis here. Inertia is a movement of inertia. And when it gives these peaks here above the zero axis, I know that there really is a professional activity. So here, I like to be using it this way. For this reason, there are people who like to use the traditional one because it already comes from the base. Traditional, but if you test it, if you give yourself the opportunity to test it in the way I just said, you'll probably like it, yes. Okay, so we have other indicators too, right? I like the ones I like the most. We can also put our smart point here. Oh, smart point, it marks points of maximum opening, minimum closing. Percentage change still gives you regions that you can mark individual. Here, percentage variation helps the market arrived in this region, or you mark a point, it will have a dot here. I don't know. Monthly support, an example, so it will be marked here. Also another indicator that we didn't create but is here also by request is op OK. Then put it V app applied, so we have V app V up daily V up weekly and VWAP monthly. There are 3 VAPs. I can't find the other one, but there are also 3 V staff request. Another very interesting tool. Here's another very interesting tool. R W is very important. WACT indicator is also a volume indicator. WACD ready volume indicator. So as I said, everything is down, everything is red. There's no need to keep guessing. By possible trigger, we have what we call aggressive here. The sales you had possible stop above the deck tracker or above the bar. I'm saying that you have to make these entries. I'm not saying that. Saying that if the market is prioritizing the fall at first, these highs here are fine until it shows the opposite, so you have smart to show you that, then you have the market turning like a force, everything turns around, then this pattern here of falling, you will have a high and so on. Here's an example. We only thought about purchases in this region. Right here, it was a shopping region. Until then it turned to sales. So this increase here, this demand here. How was it? How are you going to think about sales in that condition? That's what the tools are for. You're not operating on luck. The aggression turns first. Because it's the moment the market is happening, and here the force exit turns later. Because it's like a ship, right? It's adding up everything. It has a volume with some more calculations, so it is slower in relation to this exchange here, from one point to the other. I just said, are you thinking about buying? Thinking about selling delta, delta, delta. Right, it stayed up. It showed all this here that it could go up, but the market, the trend is sovereign. Beauty. It depends on your trader. If you scalp, if you make a longer trade, that's it. It depends on each person. Today is Friday. You have to take the time into consideration, and that's it. If you want to know more about OW, remembering that it has with the profit chart, MetaTrader 5 Trading View, and NJA Trader. In the description of this video, in the first comment, it goes www.pwv system of academy.com. Click call us on WhatsApp from there, and we can answer any questions that you have in relation to the tools, remembering that the feedback we have is that people are having more clarity when operating. People are very hurt. They won't believe in what the price is doing, but they have no idea what is really happening. So are you looking? Hey, let's talk about graphic figures, right? People transform the Wyckoff method into graphic figures, the WAPV structures into graphic figures, and the market is not a graphic figure. The market never repeats itself. It can be the same, but it never repeats itself for more ISO. Here it is a distribution, but we were able to see, right? Would you have the courage to enter because you can see the basis here where things are happening, so you can enter? You are not guessing at anything. Here is a point. Here is a point, and the market will do it. This is going to do, this is going to do that. But you got it right, and you're going to do this. Man, forget it. Forget that thing. There it is. So at first that was it. I hope you liked it even more. A hug. I went